Good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live Web3 Network Quad Box today on NFT Live. Ronan, Biggie Poppins, Gift Dead. I'm NiFTYQ. We're all co-hosting this wonderful episode for y'all. Thank you for showing up early. If you are here live, if you're listening to us afterwards, y'all rock too, wherever you may be. Guys, we are going to touch on some major breaking news that we had with the Nakamigos. That's going to be the biggest, I think, piece today. Not a lot of news from a quantity perspective, but we got some quality. But Ronan, I'm going to start with you. We haven't seen you in about 2 weeks, so I want to hear how you've been doing out in the meat space, man. How's life?
Meat space. I like that. It's good, dude. Yeah, it's been super busy. I was out of town last week. Went to an event in New York. That was not Web3's first time I've traveled. That was not Web3 in a long time. That was it was actually for pickleball. Pickleball house. Yeah, dude, we had a great time. It was essentially it's a networking and pickleball event where we host an event in conjunction with like big sporting or entertainment events. So we did it alongside US Open. It was a banger. We had like just over 100 people come through over 4 sessions in 3 days. Like 32% were like founders, CEOs or C-suite like level like people. A lot of really good networking, a lot of really good pickleball. Had a lot of fun. Outside of that,
dude, shout out Drew Denzeisen, the homie that's his thing, man. And we know him from the Web3 NFT space. So it's awesome to see him, getting the pickleball house going, and that you're out there for it, supporting it, being part of that, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, it's a great idea. It's a lot of fun. And he's really gotten it picking up, man. We got another one going on in Art Basel. I'm sure like most of the people in here or listening, maybe dropping down in Miami. If you do, then let me know, because we're having another event down there. And then also one next year. This one's like the banger that like we're really hyped for, which is Drew secured a 24 court facility in Vegas that's we're going to be putting on the event during Super Bowl weekend. So that should be freaking cool. That'll definitely be the biggest we've done so far. This event we just did was two courts. The one we did before was 3 courts. We're just going to, maximize it and go to 24 for the next one.
Love that, man. Appreciate the life update. And we need to play some pickleball one time. The next time I see you, I'm going to have my racket.
It's a paddle, buddy. It's a paddle.
I figured I was going to get that wrong. But anyways.
Wow. You're already losing that one,
yeah, bro. Maybe not. Maybe I don't do it. Maybe I pass just like everybody else is passing on FriendTech, apparently. Biggie, I'm going to go to Gift Dead first. It looks like you're a little bit yeah, you're good. Gift Dead. What is up, brother? GM Web3 Morning Show had Jared from NFT Go on there. We had Dax again from MetaMask.
Dax was back, and he brought his boss. That was pretty cool.
Mickey was in the audience from Dapper Labs. That was pretty badass.
Look, man, there's greatness out there, and they're all going, to the same place, and that's the GM Web3 Morning Show over on X. So, just saying, if you're not over there, you're missing out. We got great people just stopping in all the time.
SPDP Prodigy, I see you guys there in chat. Everybody else, nice to see you as we get started.
Speaking of greatness, look at this chat. And NiFTYQ. I mean, and we got Ronan.
Yeah, I thought you were pointing this way, and I was like, oh, he's going to point over here.
So the chat, past you. No, but also right here, sitting in this seat, we got NiFTYQ, the Bubblegum Cowboy, a.k.a. the Godfather. Don't they call you the Godfather?
Godfather Lad City, baby. Yeah. Never forget it.
Yeah, and we got Ronan. That's a good day.
So, Gif, you were on GM Web3 Morning Show. Did you have any takeaways? I know Rec League was one thing we were going to touch on, but it primarily was around a lot of different things. FriendTech, the regulation piece.
Yeah, we didn't even. God damn it, you're right. We didn't even talk about Rec League or Heavy Metal Forge. Sometimes there's just a lot of other things going on, but that is something we'll be talking about today. I actually wanted to try and unveil my box live. So we can try and do that here in a minute. I think I got it pulled up. I think I figured out where and how. So we might be able to do a live unveiling here of my mech. I'm excited to see what that's about. My takeaway really was that, first of all, NiFTYQ gave in. He joined the bandwagon of FOMO over onto, he's on FriendTech, and
Gave in.
people are absolutely just rabid, demanding that I provide more content, including feet pics. So I have updated Gifted Season 1 to include my feet, my pictures of my feet. So
yeah, Decryptlorian saying no friend tech. And look, it's a hotly debated app topic situation here with friend tech. And you know what? I'm just putting myself in the mix. I'm not like gung-ho, let's go friend tech, I'm gonna get the merch and all this stuff. I just want to kind of experiment. I want to see what's going on. So I put an ETH in there. We'll see what goes down over there. Yeah. And Biggie, I thought you like experimentation.
Not one ETH worth experimentation. That's diving in head first, brother. If you're on friend tech, you ain't got no friends. Sorry.
All right. Well, great start to the show. Biggie Poppins. Great to see you, my friend.
Speaking of friends.
Yeah, I'm breaking the molds here. Biggie, what's up, dude?
Oh, man. Been good, dude. Been good. Sorry I missed you guys yesterday. But exciting stuff happening, right? Left and right. But in spite of everybody losing their head over the whole the news and the political moves and fiascos going on behind the scenes, I am as bullish as ever. Pumped to be in the space. I think just great things are being made and done. So I feel good, man. It's good to be here.
I agree with that take. It's not like the take that everybody wants to hear, right? Everybody wants to be extremely reactive and say, "Oh my God, what's happening?" But it's like, no, steady as she goes, and I appreciate that. Big shout out to Prodigy. Told my wife I wanted to play Rec League today for my B-Day, and she was like, "What?" So I figure we can all four of us sing "Happy Birthday" to him, just to give that got it.
It's not that I don't wish you a happy birthday. I do. Actually, right now, I will say happy birthday, Prodigy. We love and appreciate you. Always holding it down, making the chat extra spicy over there. But no birthday song coming from this mouth. Not today. But maybe we can play Rec League together.
Happy birthday, Prodigy.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Kevin Tack Daddy's telling us to get along with it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jesus. We're just throwing around some love. We're talking about the news. We brought up like 4 topics already. This is going to be the episode for today. Nakamigos CLOAKS drop. So extremely volatile things happening over there with the Nakamigos community. Rec League is going live. Heavy Metal Forge is going live, but I feel like not many people are talking about that. I don't know why they dropped it on the same day, but we'll see. Friend Tech and Friend Tech Keys, I've got some information to get to y'all since I did join the app via desktop. I was actually able to figure that out. It's a primarily mobile app, but people found a workaround there, and that's what actually got me into that app on base protocol. But yeah, we got to run into the show. So last thing that you want to say before we hit this news?
I want to address the Tack Daddy over here specifically, because we actually have a new product specifically for you, my friend. For those of us who don't like to sit through an hour or an hour and a half long live show, for those of us who maybe aren't good readers, who don't like to go through the whole thread and read the news, we are now doing 5 to 10 minute recap videos over on both X and YouTube, where we break down the top 10 headlines of the last 24 hours in under 10 minutes. So just for you, Tag Daddy, we have a brand new product. It's called the Daily Rehash, and it is a video format, 5 to 10 minutes, all the news that you need, tailor-made just for you, my friend.
Did a great job doing that.
It's like if you don't have time for like a full course meal, if you're on the go, you need some fast food.
Just get a smoothie.
You got your happy meal right there. Yeah. I love it.
Okay, before we get started and off and running here, we're not financial advisors. Do not take what we say and invest. If we ever drop an NFT collection, do not expect any type of value to be then accrued in your portfolio for some reason. So just want to get that off the dome there to start. Okay, we mentioned Rec League going live. Rec League mechs are now trading. on OpenSea and Blur and all the NFT marketplaces. So those boxes have been revealed. Gameplay and the leaderboard is live now. So there was we brought it up yesterday. The rank leaderboard that they set up is only during a specific time. So I could try to find that post from Rec League, but they're trying to get as many people together at one time into the game. So that's why they're making the rank leaderboard between like 3-hour periods. The problem is that it's like, if I use Eastern time, it's like 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 9 p.m. And if I want to be high on the leaderboard, I need to take part in all of them. So that is an issue. GIF, what do you have here?
This is my box. So I was going to try and do a live opening right here. I have it pulled up. Apparently it's this little open mode. So there you go. I got a majestic box. It's not like the
super fucking
floor one.
Ronan, I'm getting PTSD from Wax.
Let's see what happens. I hit open mode, select all, open the box. Let's see. Okay, got a massive terms and services disclaimer. Okay, I'm not going to read it all. I signed away my life. Oh, Jesus. I don't even have enough ETH to fucking open it. Gas. Okay, I got to move some fucking gas into this wallet. Jesus Christ. It's costing me $12. Dude, it's costing me $12.
To open a box?
We'll come back to it. It's costing me $12 gas right now just to open it. Jesus Christ. This is why layer twos are going to have a future.
Oh, God.
All right, we'll come back to it.
You send me. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Wow.
Well, we tried. We were that close.
Where do we go from here? Okay, so again, we are participating in kind of this Rec League live. So we will be streaming on the channel. I don't know if it's going to be via the personal channel or the mothership channel here. Guys, do you have any thoughts on things you've seen from Rec League? How you think this is going to go? I know we've been talking about it a bunch. So if you guys are done with it, I get it too.
I mean, I'm just watching, right? Like I'm just really interested in seeing like how it goes, like how the game, like people like react to like the game, the gameplay. To me, it's just another step in the right direction. But like a lot of things I'm just kind of like watching and seeing. And you said the game is now live?
So practice mode, they introduced that's not ranked, went live at 11 a.m. Eastern. Ranked leaderboard is live now. So I actually have to hop in post episode and try to play it and get it on the leaderboard and all that stuff. So yeah, we're trailer Macys here. So let's watch a little bit of the start of this trailer and see what they have to say.
Welcome to Rec League, the Megaverse's premier mech sports combat organization. This is the league where the best mech crafters and pilots show off their latest creations, compete for notoriety and riches, and battle to see who's best.
After opening the boxes you've minted, you'll want to head over to the Rec Shop to see the parts in detail.
Select My Parts.
Log in and connect the same wallet you connected to Mint.
You'll see all the mech parts you own. Each one is an individual NFT you can trade, sell, or use to build your mech.
All right, hold on. We're getting info from Squashman here, and Gifted's also having an issue, but they're separate, in my opinion, unless they're related. Well, they're separate and related. Are the parts to put together each individual part is on Ethereum as well?
Yeah.
Transaction.
Oh. And then you have to like put them
Ouch.
together.
Oh.
So that's what people were saying on Twitter is then you have to pay to like put them together. So then like, let's say I want to swap my head out for somebody else's head. Now I got to pay the gas to like swap the head and stuff. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, and these things usually require a lot of tweaking, right? Like
you can't have microtransactions.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're gonna min max, if you're a gamer, right? Like Prodigy is gonna go and like pull out one head, swap another head in, and be like, all right, how does this affect my gameplay? And now I'm gonna swap out another one. Now I'm gonna try my different, pieces. Like that doesn't. I'm really surprised they didn't put that on a layer 2. Yeah. Like,
if Parallel was on Ethereum, I wouldn't be playing it. Like I guess it is kind of on Ethereum. They just don't have it a lot. There's no like situation where I'm changing my deck out and have to pay a fee. Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough. Not gonna lie, that's rough. Especially in this market.
So you got to pay like $150 to assemble a mech. So you're better off buying a full mech on the marketplace.
Don't buy a new mech. Don't swap parts. Just go buy a whole new mech. Don't make me. Like people look at like Web3 and like they're like, "Come on, man! How can we take you seriously?" Like when you make a decision like that. Like who is on the team that like, and this was Animoca, right? Like, I mean, how does that make it all the way through production and nobody says, hey, wait, hold on a second. We're building a game where we're trying to get people to buy and swap and trade mech parts, but we're going to charge them gas every time they have to do that.
All right, so we're looking at this Rec League piece. I don't want to put too much negative vibes out there in the world, but yeah, that having microtransactions on Ethereum, are you kidding me? But we are going to be participating in the gameplay. I think, again, just buying the regular mech is probably the way to go. Let me show off that marketplace really quick. So 0.08 or 0.0818 is going to be the ETH price here for the mechs. This is going to be a highly volatile time to pick one up, though, because they just revealed. You don't know if these are going to crash when people start figuring it out, and the meta is something as well, like what parts are better. So there's a play to win mechanic or pay to win mechanic that probably is associated with this. Go ahead, Ronan.
No, I was just saying, yeah, exactly. Like it's going to be volatile. Like, as people play the game and start realizing certain parts are like better or give, better outcomes, people are going to start taking advantage of that. Like this is one of those situations where you might actually be like in a good position if like you're one of those that can keep up with like everything. You're tied into like people who are really going to be hammering away at the game, and you can start taking advantage of those swings that you'll see based on the gameplay. But if you're not, I would definitely be careful. It's a weird time to enter.
Any last thoughts on Rec League Gifted before we move on? I'm going to briefly hit the Rift, which is also opening.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to reveal my box live. I don't know. I might, because I'm going to have to move shit out of my cold wallet and it's connected to a thing. So anyway, we'll see if I can do that. But I do have, on the heels of maybe not so great info about my Rec League mech maybe ending up costing me way too much money just to use it in the game, I have a pleasant surprise. As I went to my wallet, it's great to have Biggie here for a moment like this, because finally, after
what'd you do?
We have my second mythic. It has arrived.
Nice. That's a beautiful bird, man.
Just found it in my wallet.
Nice.
See if I can actually pull it up. Probably not. All right.
I was going to use menacing.
There you
go.
Stone
Mason right there, man.
I like his. Yeah, he is. I like his eye. I don't know what that crazy eye is. Scarred yellow eyes. Yeah, he's got this crazy looking eye. So there you go.
He's been to battle.
Maybe that's the new PFP, because I don't know if this Nakamigo, I don't know if these Nakamigos are gonna make it.
Were these mythics just claims for holders or drops?
So there was a couple different ways in. There was the mythic eggs, and then there was the oddities, which I do believe those eggs and oddities were given out to Moonbird's holders, and then you could buy them. And then I just burned my 2 oddities to get these mythics. So I've been waiting for my second one. It took me a while to get them, but this one's pretty cool. I'm excited about it.
Nice.
Yeah, but maybe that's a good segue to talk about Nakamigos. We're already getting flamed in the chat for not talking about Nakamigos yet. So like, Jesus.
I'm not being manhandled by the chat here today. We got a question from Quantum saying, does Rec League use delegate cash? I'm looking on X right now. Aaron Haber actually put out a tweet just recently, about 30 minutes ago, saying, Rec League, does the site accept warm wallet delegation when I connect my warm wallet? It's not finding my boxes and I'm aching to open them and get started. So it looks like he's having an issue with that warm wallet integration. I don't know if he's using warm.xyz. QV, I see your comment there as well. And we also got ABP saying, so if we KYC a warm wallet, Rec League will be able to see the wallet. So maybe you had to KYC the warm wallet as well. Because I don't even know. NGB is saying yes to that question. So that's a tough one as well. You shouldn't need to KYC if you're buying it on secondary, though, to play the game. So I'm a little bit confused. Maybe there's an element here with the KYC during mint that needed to be done. All right, I'm briefly going to touch on this. It feels like the sales are not filled with wind here on the Heavy Metal Forge launch. We saw the release maybe like 12 weeks ago. I need to get my timing right, but it was about 3 months ago that Heavy Metal Forge released. People have been in there and slowly have been getting more and more tired of it. It's very much a work to earn game. It feels like that's a sentiment I'm seeing, but the Rift is opening up, and that's going to offer an ability to go and do things with your heavy metal and also earn rewards. So that's good. It just feels like the overall sentiment, especially with Rec League, that it's just getting buried. Like I don't. When Heavy Metal was released, I saw it everywhere. When now the Forge is being launched, I don't see many people talking about it.
Well, it's definitely got competition, right, with other games also that are maybe more optimized to actually be played and are being enjoyed and talked about, whereas this one doesn't seem like it was optimized to be really used, at least not yet.
Yeah. And one of those things that I said right before we went live was actually that Improbable Labs just dropped their Web3 game, the Chasing Alpha. So like that literally like 30, 45 minutes ago. So that's another game in the space that literally just dropped that is accessible. You can hop in. I actually hopped in when we went live. I don't quite understand what the hell's happening, but there's a game here, and there's points, and you accrue points, and there's a leaderboard, but I'm not quite sure what the hell we're supposed to be doing in the game. So, but yeah, that's happening as well. So I definitely think there's like a lot of stuff going on today. It's interesting that like you have multiple, Web3 games all kind of being dropped at once.
Well, and there's also there's still not that many people right now playing Web3 games and in the space at all collecting NFTs. So it's a niche of a niche and a very, very tiny community right now that everybody's competing for the same players, the same users and attention. Yeah.
Guys, I'm looking for silver linings here. I need more positivity here.
I mean, let's hope that the Rift is a good experience. Let's hope that when I can actually, move around some funds and unlock my mechs, that it's a good experience and that it's fun. And again, I'm actually worried. Like I don't have a bunch of excess liquidity right now. I really want to get into Rec League, but if it's going to be costing me like hundreds of dollars just to play the game, like I'm not bullish on it. Like, so I'm just really hoping that it's a good experience, that the fact that it's all Ethereum transactions is not going to be just a massive downer on Rec League. And then I'm not going to lie, I'm also kind of down on Parallel right now just because of the I'm using Shroud and I have to, I guess, go build another deck now.
If you guys are looking for positive vibes, I'm just following up on this, so do not crucify me. I'm just covering the floor price for heavy metals. So we'll see what happens once the Rift goes live. Maybe we get some kind of unexpected situation where people are earning a bunch and all this stuff. And I do think that the heavy metals will, as the other side of the implementation kind of rolls out, because that was the idea, right? The heavy metals were eventually going to be used there. And the amps and all the things you're doing are going to be used. So hopefully we see an increase over there on the heavy metal price, because that's pretty low from what I've seen. I think that's the lowest they've been here in a long while. All right, I want to briefly touch before we get into Nakamigos. I want to hit these comments, but we're going to be here. So Aaron O, we will get to that in just a moment. Guys, if you could pick out any comments you see, because the comments are just like flying by. I haven't touched on it here in a moment, but Squash, Choina, Decryplorian, Prodigy, Aaron, QV, thank you guys for participating here. But if you guys see any comments, otherwise, hit that first, and then we'll jump into Sugartown real quick.
I'm mostly just getting flamed by Prodigy right now about Parallel. I literally got into a chat with somebody who's top 150 playing with Shroud, New Dawn, my Paragon, and like spent an hour yesterday trying to like talk to him and he getting feedback, and it still hasn't helped. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just trash and that's it. So thank you, Prodigy, for making me feel that way. But hey, if you can climb the leaderboard and get top 10 with a starter deck, I will worship you forever. Show me though. I don't believe you. I think you're capping. And that's all I got right now on the Web3 gaming front. I hope the Forge is good. I hope Rec League is fun. And I hope that I can turn things around with my Shroud deck.
All right, Trailer Macys. And guys, if you had any comments that you wanted to hit after this, please do so. But Trailer Macys, Sugartown.
They could not win it, man. They hard not in it. They just a scrimmage. They could not win it, man. They hard not in
Very Coda-like.
They could not win it, cause they heart not in it.
It's kind of Coda-like. My initial reaction to this was actually it made me feel a little bit more bullish on the art direction, because I was not interested at all in the art direction that they'd shown promoting this. But that actually looked kind of cool. The animation's actually good quality. The character actually looks kind of cool. The auras there that they're showing. And obviously, they have the resources and team and expertise to execute good quality media content games. So yeah, I don't know. It seems successful. Seems honestly actually like a big W. There hasn't been that many big W's recently. This seems like a W for a lot of people that got on this allow list.
Yeah, free mint, by the way. So sitting over there, 0.15. It looks like it's up 12% on the day. Yeah, obviously this is pre-reveal as well, folks. So definitely keep that in mind. But any thoughts? Ronan, I know we were saying Zynga and we were having that conversation before we went live. Do you have any thoughts on kind of the studio and what they're trying to build here with Sugartown?
Yeah, I was just like calling out that during the Web3 show, GM Web3, that Jawa had a really good take, which, on Zynga, basically calling out the fact that they're experienced and they're a company that does a lot of research, right, into like spending habits and consumer habits. And I think that, when it comes to, getting this right and like drawing, getting attention, they're probably a really good company for that, like for making, again, like bringing, helping with the mass adoption, right? Getting more people into the space, more people interested in what's going on and what we're doing. So yeah, I mean, it's one that I'm definitely going to be watching. And I think that, I'm really interested to see how they start to, they launched here and they're in, Ethereum and how are they going to reach the Farmville, how they're going to have the Farmville effect, right? Like you got to remember, they basically created micro gaming, like the entire genre of like, gaming in 2 to 4 minutes.
Social gaming.
Right? Yeah. Like it's social like,
media games.
So I want to see what they do with Web3 as a basis.
Now, how do you feel, Ronan, that they didn't promote it with their main Zynga channel? Like that's something that was brought up by Kagi in an earlier episode, which really struck a chord with me where I was like, I was actually curious right now with the trailer because like this song, it's like their heart's not in it. And I'm like, well, you didn't post it on your main channel either. So where's your heart?
Yeah. I'm huge on like, if you're going to be supporting a product that your company is making, like support it full blast. Like, a lot of people know with Gig Labs, I had a lot of interactions with some of these huge, massive, like global brands. And it surprised me when we would ask for them to just be like, hey, make sure like when we launch this project that you guys retweet the Twitter, because you've got 2 million followers over there where, the project Twitter only has 2,500 or whatever. And they would just be so against it. So, to me, you want real effect. Like as a business, as a company, like you should be making these moves because they make sense for your business and company. And if they do, then you should be putting that out there, right? Like Zynga should be saying like, we see a real use case with Web3. So we're going to try something in that space rather than kind of launching it in like the back burner and just
siloing it.
Yeah. Like again, silo,
like this,
right? Like
it's this weird little sideshow experiment that like they can just sort of plausibly deny if it doesn't really go as big or successful as they hope. They can just kind of pretend like it never really happened. It's definitely one of the biggest concerns that I have because we've seen this playbook before from a lot of big brands. As you were just saying, Ronan, you've had direct hands-on experience of trying to convince them to go all in and actually support these products and get behind them and seeing how that ends up going. It usually doesn't end well when this happens, which is why we've been kind of raising some red flags on it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to go well. Again, this mint actually went well. So far, they're off to a good start. But there is a real concern about them treating it like it's just another extractive marketing channel, little dumb thing off to the side, and not a real product that they should be taking seriously long-term and integrating into their main portfolio or whatever, right? So,
okay, the wait is over. Nakamigos is about to be talked about, folks. If you are here now, if you're here afterwards, please leave a like on the show if you appreciate these great creators up here, if you appreciate the quad box that we're bringing to you on Thursday, September 14th, 2023. Thank you guys for, again, tuning in. We're smack dab in the middle of the episode, so might as well hit the biggest news of the day, and that's that Nakamigos finally announced what was coming in fall. Nakamigos CLOAKS. 9/21/23 info mirror.xyz. So people were like, oh my God, yes, like we're finally getting something. Hopefully it's not another secondary collection that's going to dilute the ecosystem. Oh my God, it's 20,000 collection here. That's going to be
another pixelated PFP collection.
Not
another
a free
20,000
access, but a 0.05 for the holders. So holders were going to get first access before the public. It was going to be 0.05. You could eventually, hopefully, flip that for more. They're not going to say it, but that's what they expected. And then they opened it up to the public. I need to get the actual public price because since that time, this website has been updated. Everyone, I mean, Nakamigos.
That's that free there.
Yeah, so Nakamigos floor price tanked, and the sentiment in the Discords and in the spaces and in the everywhere was extremely bad. People were like, "What the are you doing? We're in the middle of a bear market. You're charging your holders for 20,000 new things when that's going to obviously tank the price afterwards." They immediately responded this morning. So, they waited about 10 hours, 12 hours. They're like, okay, hold on. Early access mint's actually going to be free, and the public mint is going to be 0.05. And that's where we stand today. Nakamigos floor price was just like this overnight and this morning. I think it's like 0.25 at current. I mean, it's been super volatile, so it might even be different now. But that's the story. Hopefully I laid some groundwork. I'm Arthur Fisting meme this as well. So I want you guys to figure this one out.
I wish there was a DJ Khaled version of another one where it's like confused and like not excited, where it's like another one. I wish I could hit that right now. Damn it, because, that was the initial reaction, and the question came up again on the show, as it often does whenever a lot of these projects that have amazing setups, like they seem like they've got all this momentum, so much going for them, and then somehow just shoot themselves in the foot with some kind of bad decision making. Like this came up again, like who was advising this team on this initial rollout that would make sense? Why did they think that at this time in this market, given the existing tokenomics and like and all of the above, that it would be a good way to go? There's so many question marks around how we got to this point this morning. It is we'll give them credit for pivoting quickly to try and make it a little bit more palatable for the holders. That's good there you go. Good job for at least listening to feedback from the community before the mint. Yes, we'll pat them on the back for that. But as somebody who has recently gone through the not trivial process of updating my PFP to a Nakamigo and then feeling snubbed for doing that when they basically totally ignored it and reposted my Nakamigo without even tagging me or commenting on mine or anything. Now I feel even more snubbed as a holder. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do. I'm like, why am I repping them and talking? Like I've been so high conviction talking good about Nakamigos on all of our shows for fucking like almost a whole year, and I'm like, we don't know who's behind it. And I definitely don't understand why they're making the decisions that they're making.
I'm turning red. Nakamigos are in the coveted position of like crypto punks, crypto dick butts. Nakas is in there. There's probably a couple others that need to do nothing at this point. They've delivered nothing. They've said they're going to deliver nothing basically up until this point where they launched Fall is Coming. They didn't have to do anything. And yet they just fucking shot themselves in the foot, more likely in the face. We'll see how they come back from this. They didn't have to do anything, dude. I'm rocking an Oni Force. Star-Lordy and all these guys are in the position now, based on the way that the PFP is set up, to actually deliver things for And again, we're getting into like regulation speak and legalese, but that's what Oni is delivering. Just like a lot of other collections, there's very few that don't have to do anything and still somehow come up in price. Nakamigos was one. What the fuck?
I mean, I think, okay, so I'll try to add a little bit of sunshine here to this. Like I obviously started like very much disliking the project, thinking it was just another shitcoin. I've come to meet a couple of the Nakas, and I'm intrigued. I've been looking to maybe find a way to get in. Hell no, I'm not gonna do it at any of the price points by the time I figured I wanted to dip my toes in the water. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity for me to maybe take a punt and see what the community's over that, about. Having said that, like there are certain things that they've done in the past, couple of 24 hours that have been like a bit of red flags to me. Of course, just the lack of awareness, to want to charge that amount of money in this bear market to their holders does speak volumes, at least of like where their priorities may lie. Especially when initially it was it a free claim give, where they were like, it's like a really inexpensive mint. This time around, I mean, looking to just quadruple or quintuple that amount right off the bat in a bear market does not bode well. Having said that, I have heard great things about the community, and it's still early. It's a very young community. It's not even a year old. So to me, like that's really going to be the test of time. But for 0.05, maybe somebody like myself would take a punt and see what it's about and check it out. I will say recently, parallel to this a little bit, like I had an experience like this a couple of years ago, right? With a community called Obits. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. Basically, it's a CryptoPunk that was burned, and out of it were spawned 10,000 collections of like dead ghoulish looking type punks. Shout out to the Obits community, because it's a community that I've rediscovered. Like I joined it way back. It was one of those situations, you check out the Discord, you're like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll check back. I never checked back into it again. It was just like a PFP that was in my wallet, long gone forgotten. And I forget what happened recently that it just made me check back into the Discord, and I connected with a whole bunch of folks, and they've been thriving. They've been doing really cool stuff. It's a vibe. Like it was really nice to go back to that watering hole and be like, oh shit, man, like I wasn't wrong about this. And it's a really cool community. They've survived. And mind you, this is already like, I think a 2-year-old community. They're a bunch of creators and doing really cool stuff. And so to me, like I don't know, like that's the type of stuff that's very rewarding for me as a collector, to find out, especially when you find something that you might have discarded and it's like, no, man, it actually held to its values, and it's lived up to what it was claimed to be, and they're doing stuff right. So I'm hoping that that's the case for Nakamigos. Like I wish them well. I may join, at 0.05. Like for people that have been sitting on the sidelines, this might be a great opportunity to check it out. Having said that, I would tell everybody to like do your own research and like tread lightly, because there are definitely some signs where not everything's kosher, right? And like, but what community starts off that way anyways?
So I do think, and I want to get Ronan's take here because he's been awfully quiet over here, but the Cryptolorian's comment about greed blinds all, I do think hits the nail on the head with a lot of the, like when you're trying to like, why are these decisions being made? It's literally because all they're seeing is the potential dollar signs. And the unfortunate thing is that they can't look past that enough to understand that they're shooting themselves in the foot and hurting their community by making certain decisions. And it's the same thing with Azuki. It's like they took the money. They said, let's get the bag. And it does not matter what happens to our community, what happens to the floor price of the larger ecosystem. As long as we can get the millions of dollars right here up front, nothing else fucking matters. And these are the sort of Faustian bargains that so many of these founders keep making. And that's to me why they initially rolled out this way. All they saw was dollar signs, and they thought that they could pull it off and get a bag, and nothing else seemed to matter. And it is very unfortunate, because it just adds so many more question marks about the leadership and who's actually running the team and what their priorities are. But
Having
again,
said that, GIF, are you going to claim your cloak and then flip, or do you think you'd give them another shot to see if they can rectify the? I know you.
For what? I
pretty,
don't. The thing is, like, now that it's free, I'll claim it. I'm only gonna get one. I've flipped my other knock because I've only got one left. So sure, I'll get the cloak. It's a free claim. It'll cost me a couple dollars in gas. I don't expect them to be worth much, frankly. So
They're
it's
not.
like, okay, yeah, like maybe I'll try and flip it for like $100 maybe, or I just hold it and see if it ever goes anywhere. To me, it's not even like a big flip or even worth putting a lot of time and energy into, because the way that they've set up their economics, the tokenomics, the lack of demand for something like this and how much more supply it's introducing, like, I just don't think it's actually gonna do that much. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the cloaks fucking go to the moon and I get one and then I'm sitting on fucking bags of ETH. I don't think that's going to happen.
There's smart
maybe
people.
I would rephrase it. Go ahead, Q. Sorry.
No, there's smart people in this industry, and yet we keep just tripping over ourselves, or just people are outright scammers. Like, in my opinion, there was a opinion thrown out on the Lucky Trader Spaces this morning that it was like, oh, the team was heads down, so they didn't understand like what they were launching this into. It's like, that seems extremely hard
the
to believe.
The charts for a second.
A single one has been on X in like the last month.
That's
so
cool.
If it's not, they're fucking scammers, because the people in this space are smart. You're smart enough. If you understand blockchain technology, you have a modicum of education.
Are they? Are they?
I think that yes,
because
they understood what would happen.
We continue to see, as a whole, the people in this space, are they smart? Are they intelligent? Or do they continue to spend millions of dollars on these projects that actually have no fucking value? I'm sorry, but no value. Like, I really question, like, what, we're masochists at this point. Like, no offense to anybody who is like sitting on the panel, but like, NFTs gotta move way the fuck past like investment vehicles. We gotta disconnect from like the prices. We gotta stop thinking. The only question I have to give to your point is why. It's the same question that I used to ask every client that we got on the phone, and I still ask every partner that we talk to. Why? Why do you want to do NFTs? Why do you need this collection? Why do you have to, make more of them? Why do you think that you have to add another NFT to provide a new utility when you've got a collection that already exists?
There's no why for this.
Why? There is no why. And there's not a why for a lot of projects in this space.
We're trying to create a little bit of that why, Ronan.
But then we got to stop talking about money. We got to stop talking about, stop talking about the 0.05 print. Did it mint for free? My question is, what is Nakamigos? I keep hearing community, but like, let's be real. Like, do NFTs equal a vehicle for community? And if that's the case, then why do we always come back to floor price? Okay. And if it's not, like, does Nakamigos not equal community, and community then not equal?
People like to flex, man. Like they people in the Pokemon community want to flex that they got the golden holograph chart. People that are in the clothing community, like are in Supreme, want to flex that they have the coolest Supreme. Like, this is just a human. This is what we do. We flex.
But those have markets for that, right? Like, Pokemon is a brand that existed for 20 something years. But again, we go back to like, I use like these Fortnite cards that just started popping off in the last 6 months, right? These cards were given away for free in 2019. They had zero value. And then one day somebody woke up and was like, you know what? There's not a lot of these cards. Fortnite is worth about 10 times what it was when these cards were printed in 2019. And I'm going to start buying them. Next thing you know, these cards that were like given out for free now have a value. What we do not allow for is time. And collectability. And why? I still ask why. Do we really think that Pokemon is a video game? Then it was a television show. Then it was toys. Then it was plushies. Then it was the biggest brand in the world. That's why you pay what you pay for a rare Pokemon. What do I give a F about a rare Nakamigo, right? Like, again, I ask why. I think we're so ass backwards, dude.
Or there was.
And that's why we're sitting where we are, because we're still like we're not in the right mindset as a collective of like what the technology is truly here for, why we want to leverage it, and what the product market fit is for 95% of people who will use the tech versus the small minority of 5% that are going to use it the way it's currently being used.
We got into this a little bit on GM Web 3 this morning with a couple people coming up and basically talking about how they just felt that the whole culture was just awful and way off and corrupted and toxic and like, yes, there is all of that in a permissionless environment. You're going to get all types of actors and all types of projects. That's the thing. Some of them are going to pick up for various reasons. I sometimes the why isn't a good why. Sometimes it doesn't exist. I like Decryptolorian saying the why is, but cloaks. You know, and like actually, but really the why is money. Like here again, I think it's just money. They're trying to get a bag, and unfortunately, that's not a good enough of a why. I think in this market,
it isn't the only
right
one
now.
though. I would say it's the vast majority, 100%. And I think, man, I'm gonna go back and replay that again because a lot of what Ronan just said is so true, and it's the focus of a lot of these projects that is just mismanaged, or the purpose was never there, right? Like you said, it's all about money. I do think though, Ronan, and I'm sure you'd agree, like I'm sure you've been a part of certain collections or group of POAP holders, what have you, where you're like, man, this community is active in a way where you're really banding together. You're all kind of like trying to coordinate for a particular goal. I certainly have, and it when it does happen, it's magical, and it's something that you wouldn't sell for all the money in the world. Like that's very much the way I feel about Proof, right? Like I don't care, you know, I do not sweat how high the passes went and how low they may be right now. I care not. I don't look at that as value whatsoever, because man, the people I've met through there and the things that I've found just because of it have given me so much already. And I get it. Very, very, very few projects can deliver on that. And I think, yeah, it starts with the founders and the leaders of those projects to see beyond the immediate monetary gains that you can get, right? And to really construct, like you said, whether it's a story arc or a narrative or an IP or a community, it's not easy. And so you really, what Ronan said right now is so crucial. It's like, you got to have your why, like fucking set, like really dialed in. Like it can't be just like a one phrase answer. Like it's got to be more like a fucking thesis. You know, you really have thought this through, and you're going to be in it till the end, because there's a lot of ups and downs. And like you really got to see yourself like an actual farmer, you know, that takes the time to plant the seed and grow it and trim the garden and turn it into what it's going to be.
Most of the quote unquote IP,
most
of the quote unquote IP in the space is trash. And we've been talking more about that. And it's why you get excited when there are legit projects like Parallel that are super fucking deep. I just want to throw that in and also shout out the chat, because the chat is fucking awesome over here. Cam Taylor saying Ronan's the truth. Marty McFly saying Biggie's the man.
Yeah.
Y'all are getting a lot of love over here. Cam Taylor, also shout out to you for sharing out the daily rehash yesterday on X. I saw you. I appreciate it. That really, really makes a difference. And yeah, there's some just crazy hot takes. Like, community is a farce. Kevin the Tac Daddy he's just out here
we're
saying,
throwing the baby out with the bathwater, man, with a lot of this stuff. Like we don't need to paint with such a broad brush. There are projects that are doing this well. Like that's one of the things that I was talking with Mike Finch about, where he immediately came back on a take that I had about this Nakamigos, saying, hey, you guys are idiots or you're scammers, whichever one. I don't like whoever advised you on this sucks. Immediately he comes back with, sir, this is all Yuga has done for the last 2 years. And that's where we're at in this industry right now. Like the FUD from people outside the community is so thick that I almost feel like I have to, like, I'm not even defending my bags at this point. I'm just defending my thesis. And when Nakamigos does something like this, it brings people in that say, look, this is what Yuga did. It's like, no, there was actual demand there. Whether that has to do with the market timing or not, there was demand, and it was a different fucking market. And they did it then. Nakamigos has a floor price of 0.3. If you want to get into Nakamigos, you probably get into Nakamigos. if you want to get into Bored Ape, Ronan, tell me what the floor price was when they dropped Mutant Apes, because at that time it was multiple ETHs, I believe. What was it? What were they sitting at? Do you remember? Like even close?
I would somewhere probably like 3 or 4 or 5.
5. So,
and this was what 2,800 ETH, 3,200 ETH, somewhere in there. It was definitely much higher ETH than we're at now.
So what is going to happen to Nakamigos now when you're launching a 20,000 set collection when your floor price is 0.25?
And that's the thing. Like, if we talk about community, right? Okay, like how many unique holders do you have in your already existing collection?
No
demand. And like, look at that, and then decide, like, do you even need more? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm all for community. I think that my response to that is we've got enough of those that are general use case, right? What we really need, and what I would support, is a 300 mint community that is focused on saving the fucking rainforest, right? Because 300 people is about how many you're going to get together who are passionate about something, who are going to bring value to that group and that community and that Discord and those conversations. We don't need 20,000 Nakamigos for a community to flourish around or to come around. That is just moving from one signpost to another, calling it a different name, and again, doing it because we want to make money, right? Like, yeah. Anyways, I think that like where I fall on the whole thing is pretty clear. And I just really to echo Q and what he said, because I think is really important, is like, you have projects that get so much attention, and like, can we stop shooting ourselves in the foot when we have it? You know what I mean? Like, it's
very frustrating to, especially
Azuki to ride the high that they had, and then to do this dumb shit they did. It's just like, come on.
It's actually insulting. It really is. And especially to those of us who have been, again, repping, supporting the community in different ways. It's awful. Decrypto Orion saying, this is why I love this show. We all been here long enough to understand this shit. And yeah, I love seeing NiFTYQ get heated about these things, because he's right. We can all look at the numbers. We can all go look at it and see the maths ain't mathin'. So to whoever is behind the Nakamigos, like your math sucks. It ain't mathin'. It's not making sense on this drop. So it's unfortunate, because the chance of this doing anything other than diluting supply and making them worth less it's very low, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but I'll be surprised if in the short term around this drop, if Nakamigos and the CLOAKs actually perform very well. Hopefully they do. As a holder, I hope they do. I just think the maths ain't mathin'.
Look, we had a couple comments. I said the die is cast, because that's where they're headed. We know what happens whenever you dilute a collection like this, especially in the middle of a bear market when people are just trying to survive. Like, regardless of where the Nakamigos floor price is on the OG collection for the next week, month, we know where they're headed. And the community sentiment sucks on this too, because a lot of holders I was seeing across X were like, I'm out. You know, what the hell? What the hell, man? Like, so in my opinion, the die's already cast. We'll see how long it takes, but it's just wild, man.
All right.
And
we talked about Nakas. Yeah, hope you like that. Talk about the Nakamigos.
What's the silver lining here?
We're not
silver lining. Let's just end with that.
We're not simping for anybody. We're always going to give you our honest takes up here. That's what we do here, bringing you the highest quality editorial, entertainment, and educational content. So that's what we do. We're going to give you honest opinions, and that's how it made us feel. The silver lining is, maybe we just know more about the founders and what their true priorities are. And we now don't have to pretend like the CLOAKs is going to be some awesome new expansion or idea. So I don't know. We get to move on to other things maybe. That's the only silver lining I can think of.
You were talking about parallel. That's a silver lining for me, especially being a gamer, especially being, holding ApeCoin, which I hope can have a lot of really good use cases. When you look at Prime Token, when you look at the assets in the parallel ecosystem, they're only going up. And it's not like an inorganic growth. There's actual demand there behind what they're doing. So that is my silver lining, is like, that's super negative. But look, when it's done well, it can really have an effect. Like, you can say whatever you want about the mutant drop, but it really made Bored Apes into what they are today.
And it was a whole different time too. To be watching something like that as early as they did in that market was a very different strategy from trying to replicate that 2 years later in this market. So those comparisons are kind of off to me. The silver lining for me is that you're on Frontech now, Q.
I see Gifted trying to change the discussion. Here's my last 5 seconds worth, okay? Because we're always trying to think about like the thesis of what's next and what's going to die. Like ICOs mostly died, DeFi mostly died. Are NFTs next, right? Like are NFTs not going to be around in this next cycle? They're not going to be the belle of the ball. What I would say is now, just having thought this all out and Naka's brought it to the forefront, that PFPs might be the ones that are completely left behind, other than a very small few. I think a PFPs without utility was the ICO of 2021. So maybe that's a silver lining for y'all.
Did you see my mythic? Bruh.
That's a great example of a cool drop that helps the community. Last point of this Nakamigos, at least from a news point, is they added this worldwide gaming rights and commercial rights FAQ. I'm not going to go into it. I'll link it for y'all. This in my opinion is like the ultimate pivot that all PFPs are doing right now. They're like, hey, we're going to do something with gaming. But Nakas are saying, hey, we're not going to do anything with gaming, but if you want to do something with gaming, you can use these Nakas. So great job on that. All right. How we move on from that, I don't know. Cool Cats had a pretty cool announcement. Yeah, pun intended, I guess. They were showing off the Macys Day Parade float that they are going to have. How are we feeling about Cool Cats now that we see this?
Cool.
Is it putting a balloon on a parade? I mean,
brand awareness wise, like it's cool, because like I also hear that like Gary Vee's probably gonna have a float too. Like,
oh no,
for like
his art on a float.
Gary Vee was gonna be a float.
Like, anyway. So who knows, man? Brand awareness, I think, is always a plus. Again, I think that like the only really leg you can stand on with any of these projects that launched with NFT PFP first is the branding. And if you have a team behind that brand that are pushing it and doing everything they can to create partnerships that help build that brand awareness, then the better. It's definitely a huge plus. Again, I bring up Gary Vee and VeeFriends. It's like, his goal there is it's going to be a household name. He wants kids talking about VeeFriends, right? So kids talking about Cool Cats makes sense. Like I tell you what, my son loves the Cool Cats. So like,
I agree 1,000% with everything that you just said, Ron, about sort of brand awareness, etc. There's this weird disconnect with me with so many of these projects right now that are going after some kind of like family friendly or child audience, because it's a little bit confusing to me right now who the audience is for this. There's not mass market appeal in NFTs at all right now. So to get that like really milquetoast, family friendly, Nickelodeon crowd to be buying and trading NFTs or going deep into an NFT community is kind of confusing. It doesn't really add up. We know that the market right now is still primarily like degens and edgelords and fucking trolls and just, dudes between the age of 20 to 35 or 40. Like that is the main market right now. And so that's my one concern with this type of stuff. Like I know Gary Vee is going out in the stores and creating, like cartoons and plushies and shit. And so I know that they're doing that well. Cool Cats is not very cool or edgy or interesting to me. And so it seems like their target market is that very sort of milquetoast, Saturday morning cartoon for the family, where you can sit down and eat your cereal with your little 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids or something. And I just don't know where that, do they have enough distribution and cool toys to make that work? I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused by the audience strategy right now with some of these projects.
Yeah. I think in my head, I would think that the idea is make Let's just take Cool Cats, for example, like make Cool Cats into a globally recognized brand that we can push toys and TV shows and IP deals, right? That drive interest and revenue, therefore brings value to the original Cool Cats collection and holders through, again, time. That's like this is going back. Look, man, people talk about these Charizards that are worth so much money. That Charizard in 1999 wasn't worth more than the damn cardboard it was printed on, right? Like the only thing that makes it worth that much, the reason that Charizard is worth the most in the whole collection is because time. Some have been destroyed. Not enough were distributed. It was the smallest distribution since that point till forever after for any card, right? There's reasons that make it that. And I think that it makes sense, but again, for a very small portion of projects, right?
You're right on the strategy, right? Because like they're trying to do what Pudgy Penguins is doing. I think Pudgy Penguins is like creating that cutesy brand iconic character that it will have global appeal, like a Hello Kitty type thing, where you can actually license that IP in a million different ways, and it becomes very, very valuable. But the thing that I know about that from what we've seen from Luca and their success so far is that they actually have resonance. They actually have some kind of product market fit. They're actually doing that. I just haven't seen convincing evidence that Cool Cats has that product market fit. Or that there's enough interest in this IP to make it into that. So I don't know, maybe I'm just fudding it because it doesn't seem as cool or edgy as some of the others, or to be as effective and resonating as much as something like a Pudgy Penguins does.
All right, I'm going to put us back on track here a little bit. I appreciate all four of you and your takes, man. I think the community does as well. So thank you guys for tuning in all the way through the episode. We have a couple more topics. I'm going to fly through these first two and then get to Friend Tech. Permissionless is going on, obviously, and Erik Voorhees had a great just speech. Honestly, it was 25 minutes. Yeah. He was talking about self-sovereignty, economic freedoms that we lack here today, at least in the U.S. and across the world. So I'm going to link that in chat for y'all. It'll be in the description afterwards as well. But GIF, you did a great job. I didn't want to spend too much time on this. I want to let people just listen to it themselves. But did any four of you have any take if you got a chance to watch? Or three?
Oh man, I took out a quote. You can go to my profile and I reposted it, but a quote from this video. I'm not even going to attempt to rephrase it, but it was fantastic. People should definitely listen to that right there. Yeah, I mean, speaking about why, this man's been here since the beginning. This is his why. And I can get behind that 100%. That's definitely one of the reasons why I'm here. I believe in that. I want to see that future. I want to be a part of it, Yeah.
There's so many good quotes throughout this. I think it's probably the best single keynote speech, any sort of speech about crypto that I've seen. So it's definitely worth taking the time to watch it. My favorite quote that I immediately latched onto was, "We say that code is law, but that's a misnomer. Code is better than law." I just thought that the way that he used that turn of phrase was just really concise and brilliant. But there's so much brilliant stuff in that, and the way that he lays out the case for why crypto matters, why it's a rebellious movement, and what permissionless means, why does it matter? It's so well thought up, but also the way that he fights back against the sort of predominant mainstream narrative that all it is scammers and degens and crypto bros, and that there's nothing much deeper behind this technology or the ethos or the values of the space and what we actually believe in. So it's just awesome, man. It's really good.
All right, I'm going to hop into this next piece. In the meantime, we did get a poll out there that's asking, can the Nakamigos come back from this CLOAKS mishap? We are seeing some votes come in, so definitely get that done. I am closing the poll here in like the next 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Just some quick generative art sales in the past 24 hours from NFT Stats, Vera Molnar, Meridian Archetype, Distance by William Mapan. Any takes here, Biggie? I know you're big still into the generative art scene.
I was very lucky to be allowed listed to mint with the William upon distance, which I encourage anybody to go check out. If you do, try to go see it directly from Cactoid Labs, because he actually added a way where you can use the arrow keys to see the different layers, how the artwork was made. It's phenomenal. Like, you really like it. I don't using the word feels. It feels like it's so tactile appearing. Like, it looks like actual brush strokes. It's intense. He's definitely one of those. I don't know, like one of those groundbreaking generative artists out there that I love to follow, and so I'm lucky to hold the piece from him. It's really cool. You guys should check it out.
Okay, last topic here of the day is going to be FriendTech. We've said that word more times in the last month than in our entire lives combined here. So I do have some stats that I'm going to get to. Tyler D is saying FriendTech all-time highs. New users 3,900. This is just here from yesterday, by the way. 3,900 to 5,000. Returning traders 8,000 to 10,000 traders now. Daily buy volume is up over 10 million at 12. Total value locked past 30 million. Some interesting stats there with the total value locked. Like, it's now like generating more fees than Bitcoin. It has a lot of more total value locked than what's happening on some other protocols. It's doing way more trading than NFTs at this point. And the top key is held by the actual founder, Racer, who is making a hefty penny if he's at 8.69 ETH. Total volume came in at 18.5, a new all-time high. So a lot of stats to break down there. Obviously, it's super contentious. Let's get the last takes, or just takes on this last topic.
Ponzi.
That's
the latest tiny Ponzi. That's all it is.
That's the reductive take on it that I think a lot of people still have. And I think, we share that it's definitely built on Ponzi-nomics. It's just a question of, is it hitting at a time and providing enough interesting functionality along with it that it has more legs than a lot of other things? I think most of us agree that social tokens have a place and have a purpose, and that there's going to be social tokens that do well. It's just a question of whether or not FriendTech is actually something that can last more than just a few months. Is this just a pump and dump? Will it actually crash as fast as it's rising right now, like so many other Ponzi's do? Or is there more to this, the social aspects? Have they cracked some of the social components of this to make it more interesting for longer? Those are the questions. I got on it early just to check it out and see what it's about. NiFTYQ's now on it. More and more people are seeing all of these stats and the money, and so it's like that FOMO wheel and that interest is just more people are getting in. I mean, do you look at those daily active users and people jumping on it, and the fact that all the trading volume on it is like surpassing fees on Bitcoin and all this? Like, dude, these are serious numbers, and everybody now, it has the attention basically of the whole space.
We've seen this behavior before with shitcoins, right?
Yes,
multiple
and
times.
BitCloud.
And I understand, like, many of us here have gone through several cycles, and maybe we have some PTSD because we missed the apes or we missed CryptoPunks. And so could this be the ticket, right? I feel like this is social engineering at its finest. And if you're jumping on it now, because I really do believe nobody's jumping on it for the reason that it was built, right? Which is like social interaction, right? You look at all the different social apps that we have today. It's very hard to dethrone these things, really, or to take users from one and into the other. This one in particular, I think, is 100% motivated by narratives from people that are already well positioned to dump on your asses, and they're putting all these very sexy stats and metrics up to entice you, to get you to fucking jump on over, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be early enough so that you too can be a dumper. But you know what's going to happen. You know what's coming. Nobody's fucking chatting there. Nobody's going to have I barely have time for the real social media apps. You think I'm going to be doing them on this piece of shit UX.
So
No fucking way.
okay, look, Biggie, you're
Be
preaching to the
careful, Pat.
choir.
Very
Well,
careful.
Biggie,
Just saying.
You want to be right? You want to make money?
I agree with everything that you're saying, Biggie. However, I'm also trying to present both sides of it. So we know that there's Ponzi-nomics. We know that there's risk, not financial advice, all this type of stuff. However, like when BitClout was running and got a ton of attention, it didn't even have an off ramp. This has an off ramp. It didn't have any sort of additional functionality. Like even now, there's an X integration that you were just showing from NFT Expect. So that can just superpower its visibility and people being interested in this, the gamification of it, the arbitrage, trying to play on more of those FOMO social levers, the psychology of it.
Were also hijacked though. Also,
yeah,
right?
I'm sure all of this and above. There's going to be so much risk that comes with this. I'm just trying to stay like the other thing that I just can't get out of my mind about this is understanding how tremendously massive the OF business is, and that there are endless simps out there on the internet who will throw money to make those types of exclusive social connections with their favorite content creators. And so like I keep saying this, but literally if they can just capture 1% of the OF market value or market cap or the transaction volume, whatever, 1% of what OF does, they have a massively successful app. And so that's why that's the bull case, or like why I think this might have more legs and staying power, but it doesn't remove from all the risk and the fact that I think it's Ponzi-nomics. And we've seen.
I also think like the majority of the people that make money on OnlyFriends already have very well established systems for doing so. And as you know, like whenever you think you're talking to your favorite hot chick on OF,
they just have to
really
pull some of those
to
people.
somebody on the Philippines that has the everything ready for them. And to think that these guys that are already making money hand over fist legally with regular normal fiat are going to go through the hoops of getting into Frentech to make an extra couple of shekels that'll probably crash, but they'll have to fucking report to the IRS and do all kinds of bullshit for. It's a lot of friction. I don't think you're going to be able to manage it. And the UX again, I mean, I tried it too. Guilty, skin in the game. But
Biggie, despite all that friction that you just laid out, which there's tremendous friction, look at the amount of people that are joining it and participating every day. That's what's crazy. Despite that friction.
And this is the second go around now, which is it has a light bulb in my head. People of what we're doing as communities. 100%. Like it's the second time around, man. Like there's
not the second, the third, because we could add tri-roll to
probably
this,
even
right?
more. Yeah,
we could try to tri-roll was the initial timeline. One.
It was in the same time.
Okay, you mean with this? Yeah. Look, I agree. I think somebody will crack this code. My bet is on Elon before Frentech. I think Frentech is going to be a flash in the pan. And if you got in there early, if you're savvy motherfucker and you know whose keys to buy and when to sell, and not only that, but get it out of that fucking platform, good for you, man. That's your shit. Do it. Have fun. But otherwise, just be very careful.
Biggie, we just got to get you and Ronan on board with our plan to sell our.
Dude, you can go buy my keys. I ain't doing shit with them. Like I literally claimed my name, and I was like, I'm out. Bye.
I'm getting a pedicure. Look, I'm getting a pedicure. I'm hiring a photographer. I'm getting professional feet pics. Gifted season 1 key holders. You're getting something special this holiday season.
Jordan is saying, are people joining for genuine reasons, degen reasons, or just boredom? And to that, I would say yes. All the above. Like, and that's where if you compartmentalize, and I agree with you, Biggie, that this is a Ponzi, that all this stuff, like, don't get me wrong. That I understand those elements. Yet, if you just, remove that just a little bit and you hop into the app and you put a couple of, some of it's kind of fun and there's some interesting things that like pop out of it.
Because I did hop onto the app and I didn't see anything fun.
I'm gonna buy your key and floor it just because you're talking about this.
See, shouldn't have done that.
Oh no,
it's just fun, man. Like we had some people come into the GM Web3 morning show today that had just bought keys. Like so they bought my keys. I was basically like, yo, like I got this going on. I understand that they're not going to be around. I get that, but it's just fun. It's just like something to do. You know what I mean? So like
I'm
I
having
hear
fun
you,
with
but
the generative art world, dude. Like I don't
there
need
you go.
this shit. Like I mean, I get it. I get it. I really do. I understand that. Like, you want to make money, you gotta take your risk, right? It's just like choose the risk that's right for you and what you're willing to do. Like I got like a lot of travel coming up. I know I'm not gonna be on it. Like from the get-go, I saw this and I was like, I'm not gonna be on this. Like I'm not gonna be really on it the way you need to be to make money off of it. And so I'm out, and that's it. Like I'm cool with it. I'm cool watching from the sidelines. I'm more interested in seeing how long of a run it's gonna have. That's an interesting question.
Ronan's getting sleepy on us. We better move off of friend tech.
Ronan, your question, I think your question was like, what are people doing with it, right? Was that what you were saying earlier? Like, what's actually happening?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that was my question to like, I don't know, the topic that we were talking about previously. It wasn't even to friend tech, but like now that like I get a better understanding and like you kind of sharing a little more about it, I get a good picture. And I definitely, I'm in Biggie's boat, and I think that like, it's just another way of taking advantage of the so not for me, man. It's just not for me. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's just taking advantage.
It should be called friend flipper, first of all, not
yeah.
Friend
Like
tech.
it's just
it makes
there's a lot of
friends.
it's like no, it's like flip your friends.
It's Machiavellian,
isn't it? Doesn't it like?
We don't need a platform for this stuff, man. We just need this is like. The business comes first, then like using the tech to enhance the business is what like the way we should be doing this. Like we're building backwards, I think, and like
just wait.
I think it's, we're simping for a use case for the tech, so we're just like trying to shoehorn it in someplace, but it's not going to matter until it's in X or Facebook or Instagram, and there are that
you saw the integration there.
Easily integrate with it and give a shit about it. So I think we're far from it.
There's a case for a bigger platform basically just acquiring it and integrating it into a larger suite. There's a chance that can happen. But I just wanted to say, just wait until there's a token drop, because they've been teasing that there's probably going to be an airdrop. This thing is going to get super powered, and this is not the end of this thing. Unfortunately,
it'll be like Blur, right?
Yeah, but dude, Blur is
like that thing that like.
How long was that drawn out? That's what I'm saying. It is the same. It's the same freaking people. So like,
I would like if Blur could kind of come out here and actually like, it's been a year. You know what I mean? And you can kind of see the result here. Like if y'all can maybe show any modicum that you kind of want to see this market, like if the market gets better on the NFT front, y'all make more money. So why aren't you addressing these situations that are going to keep this market from, continuing?
That's like a direct question. Y'all isn't us. Because like, dude, I left that train a long time ago. I don't know if like that sentiment has not been like passed along very well, but I feel like I've communicated well. Like I do not look at the bags or, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, I just don't think that like NFTs are that anymore, man. Like I really think like I'm here for the use case and like for them to like for the tech to be properly applied, man. And for us to start talking about shit that like people are doing that's cool, that's fun, that gets, people into this and caring about it that weren't before, right? Not the same circle jerk that continues to take place over which project is stealing money, this week. So
I think VGF and Marty both kind of summed up friend tech very, very eloquently here. VGF saying PvP metas be popping right now. Facts. Marty saying considering joining friend tech just because it's pissing me off. I feel like that's also a lot of people right now. So yeah, great points.
Yeah,
Marty Fudbomb on friend tech. That'd be epic.
I think there's going to be some I think all of the things we're saying are probably true, right? It is, friend tech is what it is. But there's going to be some people who actually use it the way that it could probably be used in the right manner. Most of it's going to be degen activity. So yeah, it is what it is. But that is going to be it for NFT Live today, folks. We had that quad box for you today. Rec League is live now. Hopefully we have some time to actually get on the leaderboard. A lot of other things happening in the industry. I don't know if we have any specific drops. I mean, we already saw the Nakamigos. That's going to be on 9/21. So we'll see what happens with CLOAKS But yeah, guys, great
You want to
conversation.
hear about a cool drop? I mean, we talked about it
Is it on
briefly
Frentech?
about the Def Beef.
Can I buy your keys?
No, fuck no.
Okay.
Def Beef. Did you guys see that one coming up from Bright Moments?
Bright Moments Def Beef collab.
In
I heard about
Argentina.
it.
He's having the people like that are the people that are going to be able to mint his token go to Patagonia to this very special particular mountain with this rock that is made out of this very particular type of earth. I guess it's like rocks that are carried over through icebergs all the way to like Patagonia. You have to like go over there and go through this whole ordeal, this whole odyssey to go and claim this token, which is going to have to be maintained for 10 years. If not, it'll degrade. And then after 10 years, it becomes immortal. And then the actual artwork, you no longer have to tend to it. But I mean, talk about a different approach to engaging his collectors, right? And making them engage with the art. For 10 years, you have to tend to it. Once a year, you have to go there and kind of like meditate in front of it and deploy this key to be able to, he calls it refreshing the NFT, which I think is awesome.
Like
to think that you're going to live with a piece for 10 years.
It reminds me of
you have
Scoop and
to
Poop
visit
in the Forge, though.
But it's
Well,
that's
like-
once a year, not 2 times a day.
All right.
That's the type of stuff that I used to like really love, like riffing about like what the tech could be and what it could allow for like in the future back in the Clubhouse days, right? Like the art and like the way art can now interact with like the people, and like an artist can interact with its collectors, their collectors is like so mind blowing. I'm ready for like my art to like connect to my damn Apple Watch, and when I'm sad, like my art like fucking knows I'm sad. Like there's just so much that can take place because of the connectivity, and that's what I get excited about, and that's where I want us to like, get to start talking about cool shit like that. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm over.
It's like honestly, like I can't think of any other medium that can demand that from its collectors or its users, right? Like that is the functionality, and it's like it's never before seen. And the more I think about it, it's like contemplative, it's like really engaging. Like it forces you to really sit there and meditate on what the fuck you're doing and why you have that piece. And I don't know, it's awesome. Like this is exactly what I'm here for too, man.
Yeah,
so that's a cool piece that you guys should check up. And I mean, not everybody's going to be able to mint it, of course, but read up on it because this dude is pushing boundaries left and right, man.
You heard it here first, NFT Live. Well, maybe not first, but you heard it from Biggie Poppins, which means it's real. We appreciate all of you guys here up on stage and everybody who's in chat, man. Last episode of the week, we will have a rehash tomorrow. So those 8 to 10 minute videos we were talking about will be posted on the Mothership channel here tomorrow. I think we might be streaming Rec League and Parallel and all that stuff as well. So just keep a lookout for that. Let's go around the box here and close it out. Ronan, any last thoughts?
No, man, I had a good time. Chat was lit today. I love like the energy and everybody like, giving feedback and responding, man. That really like, for me, like that's the most fun part about like being on the show every time I'm able to make it through. Outside of that, our vibe, our tribe.
And I love having Ronan for a full episode. He's always like bailing on us. So it's good to see you, my brother. It's good to have you here. And for all of you in chat, I saw somebody there that said, community is hogwash or poppycock, or I don't know what the fuck is that.
Farce.
Yeah, but it's a farce, and that breaks my heart, man. Because like it breaks my heart because it means you have not found your tribe or your community, and I encourage you to keep searching, and all of y'all, because there are some amazing communities out there. If you can ever make it out to Marfa, that's one that I highly encourage people to check out. If not, I think ETH Denver and Metacon. Both of those happen in Denver. Go talk to the people that are building in this space, that are actually like really engaged with like the tech and what's possible. And you'll get bullish real quick. There's a lot of high IQ individuals, human capital. It's not going away. There's only up and to the right for me. So OVOT fam, I love you. See you next week. Let's see what's in store this weekend.
Jesus, how do I follow that? I will third everything you said about Ronan. Always awesome to have you here, dude. And the chat was lit. The rehash will be coming. We're doing these new 5 to 10 minute videos to make it super simple. The top 10 stories of the last 24 hours in under 10 minutes. So look out for that. And if you want to get amped up like Biggie was talking about, definitely check out that Erik Voorhees keynote from Permissionless. It's great. And with that, great week, y'all. Big love. Our Vibe, our tribe. We'll be back soon.
Yeah. Our Vibe, our tribe, folks. I know it's tough out there in these markets, but we are going to get back to the full positive episodes, man. It's awesome covering space with you guys. I know it's tougher in these conditions, but we're all going to be rising together whenever that may be. We're a day closer. Later, our Vibe, our tribe.